it really hit nice for a vaporizer. I was really surprised.
Oh, you're talking about handheld vaporizers.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, you heat the end of it up with like a torch or something like that, and it the metal just vaporizes the weed inside of it, so you're not doing an open flame to the flower. It was pretty cool. And then like they have a little stand that you can just sit it in, and it'll heat it up for you, and you just take it out, and it's like the perfect temp vape hit. It's pretty cool. Are we live now?
You betcha.
All right. Yeah, I was just talking about the Dyna vape. If anybody was interested, I think it's really cool. Fluffy introduced me to it, and I love it. I'm gonna have to get one of these days.
Yeah, well, as we were kind of just mentioning, I think before we actually started streaming there, I'm in the market as well. So if you're in the market for that kind of thing, what I was wanting to do is have Fluffy come on and just talk vaporizers, because he's apparently really into the gadgets and gizmos end of things. So
I think we need like just a fluff time. Yeah, he had so much information, regarding soil and stuff. Dude, he was telling me a lot yesterday. That was really cool.
Yeah, I'd like to be fluffed.
The fluffer.
Yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable. God, I was going to say something half-assed intelligent, but I'm stoned. Fluff. No.
What's up, Burton? He's always showing up, showing love. What's up, man? Happy to smoke with you.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
How can you tell he's in there?
You gotta hit the live chat button, but you gotta go into YouTube, man.
Yeah, I just
gotta
go on my phone and just go into the live chat from there.
Yeah, that's what I do. I can't keep track of both though. That's the problem.
How do you go to live chat?
go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube, yep, and it should be right there.
Dyna vape.
Hit the button, like hit the screen, or it should be down at the bottom. I'm sorry, it should be right there. Live chat.
My iPad?
Live chat.
Okay.
I love Uncle Rick.
Work on it.
You-
I got something going on here.
Play us a song, Rick.
Your girlfriend called you, Rick?
It's on, and I'm gonna like one, this time I'm gonna subscribe. By the way,
Wow.
I'm following you, or you're following me, DP. Okay, so I figured that little thing out. Quite
Yeah,
proud
I
of
see
it.
that. What? Well, let me know when you know how to respond to messages.
Oh, you said, oh god. Yeah, well, that's what happened with Opie. Opie sent me one, and then he said, I sent you a message, and I'm going, oh, fuck, there's only one thing I go to, and it's this group here. You send me another message, it's gone, man.
Yeah. Hey, I get it. I'm behind on a lot of people too.
I'm not behind. I never got started.
You're just I'll tell you what, this weed though.
Now, Rick, I've actually had a conversation with you separate from this group. I've got the chat still.
Running the chat kills my phone though. Like when we have 2-hour sessions, I usually gotta plug it in an hour in. Easy.
I got to go back and find the thread y'all were bombing today.
Oh yeah, dude. Me and Johnny ended up bombing Q's freaking after his live stream. Like I just made a comment and then Johnny did a bomb because I was mentioning the fact that we should find somebody worthwhile and destroy the thread, and he ended up hitting me there, and we just started going back and forth, and then Q kind of joined in, which was pretty funny. But yeah, we've been bombing up people's threads. It's just something to do. I don't know. We'll just pick a random victim.
Oh yeah.
But everybody's pretty good about it. They end up joining in, which is cool.
Hey, we gotta do something for that that one photo shoot one. The sexy stoner pic and all that other stuff. We got to do the females at Cannabis from the Cariboo crew and just like do some silly pictures or something for the photo thing. I think it'd be funny.
You talking about the guys doing sexy pics? Because I think I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, remember I hit you in the tag profit.
String
Right?
and like do some.
I'll just put a leaf in front of me.
She was down with it. She was like, hell yeah. She said she's gonna send me a reminder for when the show is so we can all get involved if we want.
I don't know if I could do that. I promised I wouldn't do that again.
You know, you're asking for a lot of trouble with that one, Steve.
A lot of people will stop unfollow me and shit.
I
Nah,
I'll tell you what, this weed that Fluffy left, man, is phenomenal. This one's called Ivory. So all of it's bag seed except for one. And this one's named after that movie, How High? The guy Ivory in it. Yeah. It's like it's super racy. It's nice. It should going. So if I start rambling, y'all just cut me off.
does it make you smarter?
Smart.
Giving you the answers? Does it give you the answers to all the tests?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. I gotta go find a test to take.
Because that's why they were smoking it, because he'd show up and give them the answers.
Man, I'm trying to think of what test I want to go take.
How was that landrace one that he had? The Hawaiian.
That Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That was the one I posted this morning. That thing was just great. That was a great bake.
You see, here's the deal. So we've talked land races a few times now, but very sporadically and not very well in depth since we've been doing this show. And it's funny because Hawaiian land race has kind of always been one that is, for some reason, stuck in the back of my mind. I like the idea of it. So I'm guessing this has been, I think I saw you say something about alive since 86.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said to me. He can correct or said to me. I'm pretty solid on that. I wasn't too baked when he told me that. So I'm pretty sure I nailed that one down because I was like, oh yeah, it's like a year older than me. And it was clone only for a long time. I'm pretty sure it still is. That could be wrong. I don't know. I might be muddying this up, but from, it's been kept around for a while and, it's phenomenal. It's just like this grapefruit just smacks you in the face. It's like, yeah, it's gnarly. It's just a sour grapefruit.
Now, would the original Maui Wowie be considered a Hawaiian land race? Like from the 70s?
Isn't that clone only?
Well, no, I have seeds.
The original Maui Wowie or whatever.
I have seeds that were in a front that I got from a hippie that's had them since the 70s. Yeah. So, a lot of them are sativa land races.
I would imagine that Maui Wowie is considered a land race. It's one of the original ones from there.
Yeah.
I know that they do the original skunk as a land race or something, and all kinds of like India.
You got the Acapulco Gold. You got the Maui Wowie, you got the Panama Red, you got the Purple Haze. If I remember correctly, a lot of those are original land race strains that a lot of this, because they're sativa, I think 100%. And, they've remade them, you know what I'm saying? Like the Maui Wowie you order now isn't the Maui Wowie from back in the day, if I'm understanding correctly.
Most likely. But what I was gonna try and hint at is we should see if we can send a couple cuts north.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just see if it happens. If it makes it through. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Bomb it from all points.
Yeah. Yeah. And just don't put return addresses down. That'd be a lot of fun.
I can show you how to get it through.
Perfect.
Booth life.
Well, because if you can get seeds across, it's pretty easy. So, yeah, that'd be fun.
I know that a lot of stuff is clone only, but there are some landrace seeds out there. I see them advertised and shit. People are advertising them on Cannabis. We
got Michigan Bros Show hanging out in chat. What's up, guys? Great to see you.
Oh, I gotta get back in chat. Sorry. What's up, fellas? Thanks for coming and joining in.
And they're letting us know that Maui and Wowie is a cultivated strain.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not a land race, Maui Wowie. Look at that. I thought it was.
Okay, great bit of info. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I definitely stand corrected.
I thought it was too, man.
Yeah. Opie's got that one female he was showing off the other day. That's really nice looking. I can't wait to see what comes of that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gonna be a great one, I think.
My buddy had a bunch of them, and he fucked up with his light timer. It went off, and he didn't adjust it back to his normal schedule and popped it on, and really fucking, he turned most of all of them. He pulled out, I think, like 3 of them, he said, so far, but yeah. That's got sucked out. That was like, I think 11 plants he had going.
I thought Indica's buddy, Papa Z, was going to have that Erie auction yesterday. He had the high bid on that thing all day long, right up until like a half hour before the end. I seen him on at like an hour before the auction ended. He was still high bidder. He was on, but then apparently he went off because Growing Smoke, Don Miller, came in a half hour before it ended. $5. Got it for $5 extra, dude. $405. There was 9 packs of seeds, 10 packs.
Nice. I'd be. I
know he had to be kicking himself this morning, man.
Well, that's it. From my point of view, hearing about the situation, I wasn't even a spectator. It's funny, right? But I would be pissed if someone scooped those on me. Like, to be
yeah, for $5. I mean, he had it from like early in the morning. I mean, we were fighting on it Monday morning early, and I finally gave up when he hit 400. I'm like, dude, you got deeper pockets than me. I gotta walk.
Yeah,
and. You know, it was like he had 400 there all day long, right up until a half hour before the end of the auction. Don Miller came in, 405. You got it. Boom. I'm like, dang, I don't believe it.
Nice. I've toyed around with the idea of getting into some of these auctions recently, but a lot of them are just USA shipping only. But I can't help but think that some of my boys down south of the border could use some pretty kick-ass genetics. So that'd be a pretty kick-ass way to do a solid for a brother, you know? So
yeah,
keeping that.
Well, not only that, but man, you know, I see that Beaver Seed Company, dude. That dude's got some kick-ass genetics, and his prices aren't too bad. I actually looked.
I've not heard of them until now. Can you tell us anything about them?
Yeah, they're advertising on Cannabis all the time. It's Beaver Seed Company. They're from up in Canada, and they got all kinds of stuff, man. It's, you know, all the pictures look really good. The stuff that he's putting up there that they're growing of his stuff.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll look into that for sure. That's always exciting. I was looking really hard at the Ethos Genetics. They're what they've got on the seeds here now the other day, and I'm eyeballing at least 3 of those on there. I think it's like Cherry Garcia. A bunch of you guys have been growing that, and I want in on the fun is all that is. And then I was also looking at the 10th Planet. I was hearing that Potent Ponics podcast, Growing with Fishes, the guy Steve Dredd, I think he goes by. He was showing some 10th Planet they were growing in aquaponics over the summer, and it was just looked amazing. So I would like to try and get some of that. There's another one that for some reason it's I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, really looking at Ethos. I want to get some more Irie too, but some of the ones that I want aren't in stock right now. So I'm going to kind of hold off for a bit, see if they come back in stock or if something else gets offered up instead before I pull the trigger.
Best thing to do on Seeds Here Now is when you put in your name, you know, put in that you want them. And then the minute they get a restock, they'll send you an email. And then you got to order them right then, because if you snooze, you're going to lose. But you kind of get first choice at them because you told them you wanted it before they ever got them in.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Because yeah, his morning dew, I really got a hankering to try that for some reason. I've got those golden goats and the Space Force on deck coming up, so I'd like to try a few more of those ones. The Orange Gasm and the Lemon Jeffrey in particular, I'd like to get my hands on some of that.
Those are the two hardest to find because those are the ones that everybody wants.
Well, that's exactly it. So that's in like same thing as with Cherry Garcia. I want it on the fun too, right? And see what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Hey, Caribou, Michigan Seed said they'd hook you up with some seeds.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Yeah, let's check the chat.
Yeah, that would be
What's the longest flowering plant somebody's gone with?
I had
10
15.
weeks has been
I had
mine.
15.
I'd say about 16.
Wow.
Wow.
I was mad at my 15.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
I've
that
never had to go longer than 10.
it was painful.
Yeah. They got that mag land race that was floating around here for a while. That was I saw that all over a lot of places, but a lot of our dispensaries around here was carrying the mag land race for a long time. I don't know much about that one. But.
So I already told this story before we started streaming, but I think it deserves to be told again. I kind of went out on a date last night, and in my opinion, this is kind of like the greatest first date ever, at least where the clothes stay on. So I picked this girl up, and first thing we do is hit up the dispensary because, you know, we need weed, of course. And then after there, we go over to the grow store and start looking up nutrients. And I bought everything that they had in the Blue Sky line of nutrients because that's the next thing I'm going to try out. And this one, she knows what I do and that I'm trying to breed and play around all that stuff and is keenly interested on that. So we're going to learn about the Blue Sky nutrient system together. And then after we left the grow store, we went and found a lookout spot that overlooks the town that we live in. And we just sat there and smoked joints for, you know, a good long while. And that was, to me, I think that was like one hell of a first date. Rick's kind of giving me weird looks at first, but yeah.
I think can it go better?
Yeah,
I mean, you could, but I mean, pretty gnarly date.
Yeah.
She didn't run screaming. I mean,
Well,
that's a start.
At least when you get called, you didn't go to jail. Like, you're all right.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing about having to bury a body or nothing. So, you know,
Yeah.
hey.
Well, if you did have
Sounds
to hear
good so
that,
far.
that's a problem.
and I didn't end up in handcuffs or anything like that. Although, you know,
Hey, that's not too bad of a job. At least didn't do it.
the truck breaking down a couple hours later was a bit of a pain in the ass, but
Oh yeah, hey, you had all the dabs for that. You probably forgot you even broke down. You're like, damn, this channel sucked.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, if anyone isn't aware of this story, my truck broke down on the side of the road when I was traveling last night, and it just as it's kind of getting dark, and it's just like it was dead, like it ain't going nowhere. So I was just fired up the dab rig and sat there, did dabs until I was, yeah, I was like super hell baked and I could have kept going, but the problem was my lungs were so irritated after a while that every dab was like just 10, 15 minutes of coughing, it seemed. It was like as soon as it settled down enough that you could breathe for about 30 seconds without gagging or whatever, it's like, okay, let's hit another one. And it was, yeah, it was good thing I went and slept in a hotel. Because it's like as soon as I hit the mattress, it was just like lights out.
Is the truck still sitting there?
Nope, the truck is in a shop getting looked at and worked on and all that. Hopefully, I'll go back for days off on Friday. Yeah, and hopefully it should be good to go by then. And hopefully it's not too ridiculously expensive of a bill when I do get it. So we shall see.
Good.
But yeah, it's it could have been, it was a bad situation. I just could have been so much worse. But like I was just like, like
I don't even think you can freeze to death with that many dabs. Because you'll be coughing so much, you'll stay warm.
Well, plus I had the torch. It heats up the inside of the truck, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And it's pretty warm in the Kamloops area, the Okanagan. Some people might know it. Most of you probably don't, I'd imagine. But it's a pretty warm area, and it's definitely getting to be springtime where we're hitting double-digit Celsius temperatures in the afternoons for a little bit. So it's nice.
Was that like 750 degrees Fahrenheit?
About that, yeah.
About that. Is that the conversion? Yeah.
I have the hardest time with the Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. It's just like I know that 70 is or somewhere around room to 20 for us, so it's.
Well, I've moved around so much. It's weird. Like 20 degrees somewhere in like Colorado is completely different than 20 degrees in Chicago because just humidity levels are different. It's just different types of cold and shit. And sometimes it's fucking cold here, man. It just gets like
cold and
chilling.
Rick, my thing of temperature is to switch the 2 and the 8 around. So if it's 28 Celsius, it's 82. I would never knew that, but I remember that when Uncle Rick taught it to me.
But it's like using pH drops. You know what I mean? Like it barely drops and then it drops like a million. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like the Celsius changes. It's like it's the same and then bam, it's not. You know, I don't know.
To me, it's like Celsius just makes more sense though, because like 0 is freezing.
Yeah.
Anything below that is minus, and anything above that is plus. And it just.
I judge how cold it is by like flip flop weather. There's like it's cold when you can't wear flip flops, and it's not too cold when you can wear flip flops.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is some people can take the temperatures better than others. I'm more suited for cold weather than I am for warm weather for sure. So yeah, I'll be wearing like t-shirts or not much when it's well into the minuses a lot of the times. You guys, like a lot of people see what I'm working in. It's basically just an Under Armour hoodie. And it'll be like, minus 25 out there or whatever. And it's just like,
but you get sweaty and shit though. You gotta be careful from that, getting all extra sweaty in the cold like that.
Well, that's one of the keys to wearing less layers when you actually start swinging the saw. Is your body heats up, and like you can work in minus 40 swinging around. I've done it, and you'll be perfectly comfortable. Like you want to keep your face covered a bit, but you grow a bit of fuzz on there, and you're good for the most part, anyways. And just maybe your nose gets uncomfortable, but you'll be sitting there swinging, and you're just kind of having fun because you're getting into your job and enjoying it, and and then you run out of gas and you got to go back to the truck and fill up. And you stop moving, and you're like, "This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. Get moving, or get in the truck."
It makes you work efficiently, pretty quickly.
Yeah. Incentive.
I guess your coworker got a pretty gnarly lesson the other day. Huh?
Which one's that?
One that almost took your leg off.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we should talk about that, but I
didn't even know.
It's all good. We won't go into much detail. I just say this. I have never been hit with a chainsaw in my entire life until last week. And the saw was not in my hands. It was an experienced guy. And how it happened, I replay it in my mind thousands of times by now. And the physics of how he covered that ground so fast. And then Oh, wow. Like keep your head on a swivel. And it's also shout out to PPE because this thing hit me like right above my right knee. And if that would have gone through into the skin and bone, it's just a bad spot. It would have wow. That far above the knee. Anyway, it would have kind of gone into the joint. So it's just, So I couldn't talk about this, but we just went well into it.
And a chainsaw don't cut, man. That thing kind of rips.
Yeah,
like that ain't no clean cut. That's a gap gone. You know.
Yeah, and yeah, so as where I got nothing more than just a really gnarly bruise. It's
long rip for that. I gotta go find a bowl for this motherfucker.
Nice. I need dabs. I'm getting low on dabs, which is kind of sad, but I'll hit the dispensary after work tomorrow where they got very reasonably priced dabs.
Dang, bro,
I've been cutting
5
back on my
grand
dab,
for dabs in that short time?
Oh, that's
well, he was stuck in his truck, man.
Oh, well, actually, it was I ended up buying more the next day or 2 days later too, because we went to another dispensary and they had live resin. It was like 3 grams for $100, whereas I got like 5 for 75 of the shatter, and it was wax or something like that the day before, whenever it was. So yeah, I went through a lot of concentrates in the last week. That's pretty good on top of all the flour that I smoke on a regular basis. But that's why I need to get back to like roots laid down so I can start growing again. Like, wow, you guys have no idea how bad I miss this stuff. Like I went up to, and I was hanging out and got to back up north, and I got to see some of my genetics that are being held for me. And I was just like, saw just like the joy and the happy that like, oh yeah, I'm in my garden now. And so I actually, I don't think I talked about this yet. I went and bought a 48 site turbo cloner. So I like, because I didn't want that many. Yeah, I was hoping that we would get I wanted a 32 site. I figured that was actually about what I need, but they didn't make that. They have a 24, and I was like, well, that just doesn't seem like quite enough. So I went and got a 48 site. So I've got all 5 of my Arise phenotypes are in there. I've got my Purple Punch 2.0, my number 1 Charlotte's Web, and then an additional 6 cuts of the number 5 phenotype of the Arise, because I'm pretty sure it's a female. The number 4 I think is male. It's just I'm not seeing any hairs in the pre-flower, because these things are like 3.5 feet tall by now. Basically, when they had to go away for a bit, they were just I was just basically asked them, can you please keep these alive? And they did that. So I'm happy. Clones will be coming out soon. And those clones are what I'm going to start doing with my pirate ships that I was talking about on the last show. Get those cannons going in those grow tents and really start seeing what we can pull off with those. And those freak shows, those are, I don't know if they're a stunted by nature kind of plant, because they've always lagged behind since we started them. But they were also basically in a veg situation where they're tucked in and amongst a bunch of very bushy, taller plants, so they're not getting proper light, and that could be it. But down 2 of them got lost at some point in time since I've seen them. Hopefully those weren't the males, and I'm down to 5 now, so hopefully we still got a male in there. And once those get bigger, we'll be cutting clones off of all of those and seeing what we can do, because I've been thinking, like, I didn't want to do much with the freak show other than just make F2s with those and like give those out. But then I've been thinking more and more about just like a stealth line of seeds that we can do. Like, say, so if that male that is, I think is an Arise male, and throw that in there with those whatever females I get from those freak shows and pollinate that. Or if you get a male freak show, throw every other kind of phenotype I have in there with it and see if you can make crosses that are smell and taste just like some of these other strains that we really like, but they look like a freak show. I just get into stealth growing. Like, that would be quite the niche in the market, I think, right there. I just kind of had this, I don't know, call it a brainwave or whatever. We'll go with a light bulb. It might work, it might not, but it's like that is such an interesting and such a different looking plant that, like, I think Fluffy was the first one to say it, and like, who wouldn't want to grow that? That's a grower's plant, and absolutely. but let's get different phenotypes, different flavors, different terpenes in there, and just go all out. So I'm thinking we're gonna fuck around with that a bit and just see what happens, and I'll get some testers out when I'm able to, and see how the reviews come back.
Yeah, speaking of testers, we have a celebrity in the house. Drizzt is the official tester now.
Yeah, I saw that post actually.
I think he's not there right now. Or if he is trying to talk, he's muted. All right, we'll let him talk about that when he gets back. But that's exciting stuff. Because when he sent me that message there, I was like, fuck yeah.
So I don't expect you to remember, Prophet, but at the beginning of the last show, you showed a little container, but it looked whatever I was looking at looked clear.
Oh, that was earlier. That wasn't last show. That was that.
No. It looked clear to me. Yeah.
That one.
That's
it's bubble hash.
Ah, wow. That was fascinated with that color, yeah.
I thought that was wax earlier. I thought it was all coated in the bottom of it. I didn't see that it was that consistency.
No, there's two different things.
Oh, that one, yeah, okay.
That one's wax, and then that one's bubble hash.
Yeah.
I think it's I can't remember the micron. It was given to me.
I love some good bubble hash. That sounds great. I
Yeah.
love the high. Yeah. Good taste.
The dude that gives it to me, man, he smokes like 3-4 bowls of it in a row, and he'll smoke it with me when he comes over, and I'm just like drooling. And he's like, all right, I gotta go. And I'm like, how the hell are you even functioning right now, man?
And you're a heavy partaker yourself, you know what I mean? So it's like whenever you see somebody who's on that next level, you're just like, God damn, dude.
Well, I guess he uses it for pain. So I mean, I guess, if the pain is that bad, you smoke it, you're probably not getting that stone because it's doing its job taking the pain away. So, who knows? Maybe he don't get that high. It just helps him with the pain, but it wrecks the shit out of me.
I've been enjoying edibles more lately.
I like them.
Another run. I enjoyed the run I made with Johnny, even if it did have Teflon coating in it from scraping the pan as we whisked too hard. It's okay. Puts hair on your chest, right?
Did you use a metal spatula, dude?
I don't know what we used, man. I don't know what we used. Can't remember. It's one of those days, but it's all right. Now I know for next time.
See, if I baked, I would have a lot more things going on, but I end up making the gummies. They're quick. They're easy.
Oh yeah, I hit you up that night. You were at dinner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, oh no, gotta leave him alone. That's funny.
If I gotta go out in public, I'll eat like 3 of them. Just whatever. Waiting in line isn't that bad, or anything like that.
Be able to behave while you're out there.
Yeah, it just gives me a tolerance, Yeah,
you just gotta be able to deal with normal people.
Some are normal, half of them I don't even know anymore, man.
Right, so I just say normal so I can't offend anybody.
Yep, I usually just listen when I'm that fucked up, and I'm like, yep, all right, cool.
You like it, I love it.
Yep, it's great.
All right, I guess it's time for another bong rip. Let's go. How many gummies are you on, Prophet?
I started pretty late today, so like 1 o'clock, but I'm probably on 5 or 6 right now. But I ate 2, I ate one before when I first got on with you guys that I ate one a few minutes ago. So those don't count. They're gonna hit me in like an hour, you know. But I'm gonna eat a handful before bed because I sleep like a rock, man. Oh, that's
you know what Fluff gave me also? He gave me these little capsules, and I'm pretty sure it's just the vape weed that he uses because he vapes everything. So this is just like the spent thing. He says he takes it, and there's a lot of decarb.
Oh, that it's ABV
still left in there and stuff like that are left from that haven't been volatilized and stuff, or that have been activated through the volatilization. And so that's pretty cool. I took a couple of these last night, and I slept great last night. I think I woke up at like right before my tent light came on at 6:30, so that's pretty dope.
ABV, I think it's called. Already been vaped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can if you got a pile of it and you get a lot of it, you can actually and make butter and all that shit with it.
Yeah, I've heard of people using it for edibles before.
Yeah, I never acquired enough.
That Dyna vape, I'm gonna get one of those. That was really cool. That was one of the better vaping experiences I've had. The only other one I've really had are the old school like pencil box ones with the whip that you put on there on the little red hot fucker, you know. And then the volcano, of course. You know, everybody had a volcano in high school and shit.
I love the volcano, man.
Hey, dude, it's phenomenal. It's like it's just sitting there. You know what I mean? So it's that's really cool. But
I'm liking mine a lot, believe it or not. Like the Arise, that shit's killing it, man. I really like it.
That Q Extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that thing is badass. I love it, but unfortunately for because I'm always on the road moving around, and just about a week ago, I tipped it upside down on its head for just inadvertently and smashed the little globe piece that you fill up with weed. So it's just like I'm down to one of those. It's okay. I can see how this is gonna go. This has to just kind of stay at home and just be there. But I love the vaping and the terp profiles that you get out of it. So that's why I'm looking to hit up Fluffy. So, and I know he's in chat right now. So damn you, Fluffykins, for not being here so we can chat you up on that. But it's okay because it'll actually make for a great episode. We'll just actually dedicate a good portion of a show and just talk vaporizers, because I'll guarantee that you and I, DP, are not the only two dummies that are looking into this stuff and really interested. And you might have your eyes set on this Dynavape already, but there's a lot of people that just kind of more in my situation where I don't know. I don't even know what's out there to choose from. So let's hear it. I love you, Fluffykins. Shifu, Fluffy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think they're having more fun in the chat than we are here.
Are they?
I sit here in front of a camera and I don't know what to say.
And
I know, and you dragged me into it.
I know, right?
I don't leave the house enough to bring a travel vape with me or a handheld vape. Maybe something for concentrates would be cool because I definitely need something, but I don't need anything to travel with. I got a vape pen that works out fine. I'm basically vaping shatter anyway, so I find a vape pen convenient. I don't care what anybody says.
We're gonna do all sorts of adventuring around BC this summer. It's that is my intention, to just hit as many destinations as possible. What you got there, Rick?
The pack, it's for vaping flower.
Okay.
So you charge it on the side, and then you pack the flower in here, maybe a quarter of a gram or something like that, not much. And then you press the top, and it heats up, and you can set it for any temperature you want. And then you draw, when the light goes green, time to go.
Okay. I like
How much was that other pen that you were talking about? You had mentioned DP.
The Devo or something like that.
No.
But
What was the name of that vape pen that you were talking about?
the Dynavate.
No, that's it. I knew it began with a D.
I'm gonna look at it.
And how much are they?
Let's see. I pulled it up right here. $75. And then it has a stand you can get that heats it up for you. You just stick it in there and it heats up the aluminum rod or whatever. And that's $100, and that one for $130, $175.
fancy schmancy.
So you spend a little bit, but I mean, honestly, if you're into really tasting the terpenes of the flower you have that you've invested a lot of time in and stuff like that, it's not that big of an investment because, I mean, people spend fucking unreal money on dab rigs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth of it. So, I mean, that's really not too bad because, I mean, the hit I got off of what he gave me was really nice. You know what I mean? It's something I hadn't experienced in a while. Just that unique temperature that I got those terpenes at was just unreal. And then also the high behind it was a lot different as well. And I just really enjoyed the experience because a lot of times, you know, I like to smoke. So my throat gets irritated and shit like that. You know what I mean? Especially with dabs and stuff like that. I mean, fuck, after you have dab sessions with the guys, you know, like, fuck. You know,
I think you just made a really good point that if you're looking for the terpene of profiles and whatnot, it's worthy investment to spend that kind of money on your thing. To experience that, you look at how much money people invest in their setups. You grow this amazing weed that you were just making reference to, right? Because that's what you got to do. Spend some money on a way to consume it where you're going to get the most out of your product, I guess.
Well, with the flower one, if I wish I got to use it more, but you'd end up saving way more. You use way less bud, you know what I'm saying? So it would go longer. That's the whole reason I ended up getting it, was to stretch my bud out, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's actually one of the cooler aspects of vaping. It goes way farther.
Yeah. And what I find absolutely is, am I on? Oh no. What I find is that varying the temperature 5 degrees with the same flower, it tastes completely different. Just by adjusting it another 10 degrees, it tastes different again. So obviously, it's terpenes burning off at certain temperatures and producing different tastes. It's really fascinating.
That's why I love the complexity of the joint. Like, I watched actually this video of Swami, I think it was, like the science behind him and a joint, you know, and it's like a 20-minute video of him smoking a joint with somebody. He just talks about it from like the very beginning, like breaking it up, everything, rolling it, and like taking a dry hit of it and tasting it then, and then just the complexity of the flavors and everything all the way through it, all the way down to the end, you know. And they're like, you know, it's a really good joint when you're smoking like to the roach, you know, because how many times did you put joints out that aren't like all the way gone, you know what I mean, or like still got a good third of it left, you know what I mean? Like, so they said at like competitions, when somebody walks in a judge's room or something like that, they just look at like the roach pile, and like the smallest roaches, they know like that's probably going to be the winner. But it's true, like, you know what I mean? Like, it does really change. It's pretty cool. I love it.
Those are kind of two of my very favorite things when you get, and I've mentioned this a lot of times, those kind of everlasting joints where you can get them to burn like half an hour or whatever, and you're just sitting there kind of sipping on a coffee or not road tripping and driving and smoking a joint, because that would be illegal.
Allegedly.
So that sounds like it would probably be a really good time if a person were to do that.
All right.
But just sitting there, just, you know, cruising, nice sunny day, checking out the scenery, and just like, yeah. And if you have a coffee while you're doing it, it's even better.
Yeah, no doubt. Love it. Oh, that's my favorite way of like tasting new weed is a joint. I don't know. This is my go-to. Some people go to, I guess, bowls, bongs, whatever, blunts. When I stopped smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, and I started smoking weed again, I don't like blunts too much anymore. It's just too much tobacco flavor for me.
I think it ruins it.
Yeah, it does. It just masks the flavor. There's like certain papers, like these papers I got from Canna Flower. They're all right. I think they're like rice papers or something. I don't know, but it still has a little taste on it that I can taste. That's not the best, but it's not the worst. I really like those raw papers. I love those elements. That's what I usually have, but I just switched back to smoking joints again recently, so been taking a break from the dabs as much lately. Working shit. It's hard to go to work dabbed out. Fucking wiping the same spot for 45 minutes and looking at the like, they're like, get the dab face off. I'm like,
I don't do dabs at work ever. That would be bad.
Well, it's funny when my boss
tell you, it's a lot of fun.
I only smoke Jungle Boys and cookies. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Right on. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, no.
So I'm just faced with a challenge here, and hoping I can throw this out to the panel and all our friends in chat. Here's the deal. I just got an email from Hydro, and they're shutting my hydro from 9 a.m. 4 p.m. on the 24th. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep.
I run my lights from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. So I'm thinking, how should I do this? Like, should I turn my lights off for a complete cycle? What? Because they are going to be in and out during, so what's going to happen is my lights are going to go on at 6. They're going to go off at 9. They're going to come back on at 4, and they're going to go off at 6.
I heard of Ross and Jeff talk about this. Somebody brought it up on one of his shows, and I'll look it up. I'll try to remember. I think it says it in the title, actually. I'll dig into it and send you the link if I find it. They talk about that, about how to sync up your cycle if you're going to be changing cycles. I'll try to look into it. If anybody knows in chat or anything, that'd be cool.
I've got until the 24th, so they gave me a bit of a heads up. So
you mean by changing cycles, going from veg to flower?
It's in flower now.
It's in flower now. And then what do you want to do with it?
I'm wondering, should I just ignore it? Let the lights go on at 6 in the morning, off at 9, back on at 4, and off at 6, or should I run 24 and 12, 36 hours in darkness?
I don't think that it would necessarily fuck them up to have one day of weird light cycles like that. But if you're worried about it, I would just pull your plugs for that day. And just let them have 24 hours of dark. Put them to, they won't, right? That will not harm them.
They're pulling my plug. They're pulling my plug.
Yeah. But if you pull your plug so before they even come on, so there's no light on for them at all, right? Is what I'm getting at. Just let them go to sleep for that 24 hours so they don't even go on that day. And it won't harm them one way or the other, right? Because you hear people talk all the time about putting their plants to sleep for like 48 hours sometimes, even up to that, before they put them into bloom. So
that's what I do.
I can't see it harming it.
You can even run the light until you lose the light, and then you can leave the light off and then restart your cycle back normal.
36 hours later.
Yeah. So even if it only got like 4 hours, at least it got 4 hours of light, and then your light's off for the day, and then you can start over the next day in all 12 hours.
I hear you. I get it. So yeah, okay. What you're saying is, yeah, that first 3 hours, that's okay.
Yeah, because I've lost power before. Like I've been, 4 or 5 hours in during and we had a storm, lost power. I didn't decide to and they were off for like 4 hours. So I decided not even to fuck with them, and I just waited till the next day to kick them back on. They just lost, 10 hours or something like that, 8 hours of photosynthesizing for one day, rather than me shocking them I took the sun away, here's the sun again, and now I'm going to take it away in a few hours again, rather than doing that to it. I just found it easier.
Okay, were they in veg or flour?
They're in flour.
Yeah, my buddy, he turned his back on during their original dark period and then realized it too late and hermed a bunch of his plants. And he was pretty late into flower.
The general consensus in the chat seems to be just do dark for your 24 hours.
Yeah.
Never just
catch back up
and then plug them in once at the end of the day when the lights would be going off.
I've even left my lights on accidentally, forgot to turn them off for the 24 hours while they were in flower, and then killed it for 12 hours of darkness, and then kicked them back on, and I actually didn't have a problem. I'm not saying everybody's not going to have a problem, but I got lucky, It's just because I gave it that 12 hours of darkness, and as long as it has that, it'll be in flower. It won't try to revert. Reversion takes a little while. That's why you see people when they do re-vegging, it takes a long time for a plant to re-veg. So if you accidentally left your lights on, you could kill them. But as long as you give them the 12 hours of darkness, they'll stay in flower for the most part. But that's only happened to me once. I could have got lucky. I'm not gonna say that's you could get away with it all the time.
Well, the thing is that we forget that we're dealing with a weed, and they are very forgiving, and we're just trying to maximize them, but it's pretty tough to kill them.
Just dump my rolling tray on the fucking floor.
Oh.
Is it carpet?
Yes.
You got a vacuum?
Well, the room service does when I go to work tomorrow, but
Okay, I'll say if you had a vacuum, you could take the hose part and put a paper towel in front of it and just suck over it, and then it'll be stuck to the paper towel, and you just take it off. Yeah, I've dropped weed in rugs.
I've got like a QP sitting beside me I can live with.
Oh, all right, yeah, no. I'm talking about teenage years, you're like,
oh yeah.
That's my only bowl.
What? Was that how high
Every
were
little speck of green you can find? Oh no.
Yeah, that's okay. It's only rug lint. It ain't a big deal. It'll help it burn.
Yeah, need that polyester or whatever in there to get it lit.
So I think everybody stays to that.
Great to see Michigan Grows show in the chat.
That's awesome.
Love to get him on as a guest.
That would be pretty awesome.
Probably do that at some point, maybe. We'll reach out. I'm gonna reach out to him about some seeds he was talking about on the earlier in the chat. So we'll drop the question for him, see if he's interested.
Cool.
Would be cool.
Uncle Rick, how many people call you Uncle Rick now in your life?
Oh yeah, I'm a celebrity, man.
I bet. Going great. I bet you can't even go out to get groceries.
My autograph hand it does get sore. My excuse for doing more CBD.
I would just hire somebody to sign the autographs for you, man. That's all you should be doing.
You get sex spot too. Automated autographs. Sabam. Uncle Rick.
Or we're not going there, are we?
That's exactly what my thought was.
I didn't know. My bad. I didn't.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I didn't get the memo.
Who?
I think I followed it. Like what?
Who put that label on me anyway? I thought it was you, DP.
Yeah, I love it, Uncle Rick.
Well, you gave that to me, didn't you?
I think so. I hope so. With a name like that, that's a good one.
You want it back?
I just used to call him Rick the old guy because I remember on one of the earlier episodes, I think it was when I was still, well, yeah, it had to have been when I was just doing it by myself because there was nobody else to be talking to. But just like mentioning a conversation that I had at the grocery store with you, I was like sitting there talking, and then when you're talking, and all of a sudden you can't remember the guy's freaking name, and you're just like, oh, the old guy at the store, and then yeah, it works. Said you probably have actually more growing experience than everybody on the panel put together, so
that's some amazing stuff.
That's that is like you've earned those stripes.
But the fact is that you have to go with the times. What I learned 35 years ago just absolutely doesn't apply today. Nothing about, well, no, there was hydroponics back in those days, and that's probably still the best.
Actually, sorry to cut you off. I just gotta say, you just made a really interesting statement for a guy that's been in this doing it as long as you have. Guy, like, because one thing you seem to, from talking to you, you always seem to be rolling and trying to be with the new innovations within cannabis, like LEDs and this and that, trying them all and stuff like that. And it's just like, how a lot of people that have been growing for a lot of years, they kind of get stuck in their ways where it's this way. Kind of, and yeah, you're complete. Like not all of them, but a lot. In my experience, at least, anyways. But you're always very changing with the times from what you say. That's cool.
I just want to maximize my life and get as much as I can, and I'm close to getting what I think is. On my next on my wish list, my next two things are irrigation system, like irrigation system, and those air pots. I think those.
I want those.
Yeah, I mean they're ridiculously expensive, but they'll pay for themselves real quick.
My friend has them, man. They're well worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Rick, Painted Lady's in the chat, and she's got a question for you if you want to peep it.
I'm really, honestly, I'm not good at this.
She wants to know if you pop those seeds.
The Irie seeds?
Yeah, I believe so. I can look again.
I didn't get any seeds that I'm
Hold
aware
on.
of.
Let me double check. I might have misread.
I'm pretty sure it said Irie.
Yep.
But Painted Lady.
Yep.
I talked a lot about it. I talked about getting. As a matter of fact, we should do that. Caribou. I want to get some of that orange gasm. But when Painted Lady was on, we made a reference. I'm talking to you. Made a reference of the Friends show, and Phoebe on the Fred show, and there's a bit, I can see a bit of Painted Lady and Phoebe in each other. So I just thought I'd pass that on.
That's funny. She's like a metal Phoebe, like a rocker Phoebe. Phoebe's like a hippie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
I never really watched the show.
Yeah, it's
Friends?
I used to. I think I've seen like every episode of Friends. Honestly, I watched it. I love that show. Growing up, I think I was in love with Rachel. I was secretly in love with Rachel for I think like 3 years before I came out to my family as a young guy saying, "Yeah, I'm in love with Rachel," and they still give me shit about it every once in a while. But.
Did Dritz leave?
I reckon.
I believe he did.
I reckon. Friends, don't let friends watch Friends. They're making fun of me right now. Hey man, we watch that shit as a family growing up. That shit's funny as hell. Did I bring up Phoebe? I don't even remember. Oh man, it's hard for me keeping up with chat.
Yeah, so fuck you. I'm going to chat.
You sure?
Huh?
You sure? Did you figure it out?
I can't do both at the same time.
No, it's tough.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Am I really the only one who likes Friends?
Yeah.
I watched a few years.
I think I've seen every episode. Oh wow.
I don't know. For me, it wasn't that I disliked it. It was just that I didn't really care one way or another, but it was always on. Like my parents would watch that.
Yeah.
It was better than like say Seinfeld and a lot of those other shows that people.
I love Seinfeld.
I think Kramer was hilarious.
Kramer was.
I'd rather watch that.
For me,
Uncle Rick, you got a picture next with you in front of fucking Kramer, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that show.
Did you like Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I caught a few episodes whenever I'd watch it whenever it was available. Yeah.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Yeah. What's everybody's go-to show right now?
Prodigal Son.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Attack on Titan. So that's basically I gotta wait every week. So I guess, and I'm waiting for Lucifer to come out with the rest of the season 15.
I just started checking out the Build a Soil YouTubes a lot. For some reason, I never like checked to see if they had a YouTube, and I found out like, yeah. So it's just been like binge watching that shit.
If you want to check out somebody that's really knowledgeable, he's a guy that created the Raw nutrient line. His name's Harley Smith, and that dude is a plant scientist, man. Like, whatever you want to know, what every nutrient does, like, I recommend sitting there with a notebook and taking some goddamn notes. And you could even, this was a few years ago, but he even had a live class that you could join, and you can listen to him like this, and you could actually ask live questions and stuff. But like, if you want to know this,
they've been doing a lot of crazy good living soil segments too lately. They dropped a lot of episodes of some really good knowledge too. They're fucking dope. What was it? Yeah, that one was super dope. What was the one? Harley Smith, you said?
Harley Smith. Yep.
Harley Smith. I'm gonna look at that one tonight.
Yeah, and there's a website that's got a lot of good info too that I've gone through so many times. It's Skunk Farm Pharmaceuticals, and that teaches you how to like do almost anything you possibly think of when it comes to cannabis. They're like, they've tested everything. They got all the equipment to do all that amazing stuff that we all wish we could do, So they like, for making shatter to RSO to anything, man. They're very informative.
Oh yeah.
But those are things that I was checking out like when I first started and the first couple of years, you know. Now I don't have time to do anything other than cannabis and maybe a video here and there because my phone's constantly dying.
I've been neglecting cannabis lately. I've just been busy as hell. Like I got a new bed frame in today. It's still sitting over there. I haven't even gotten to it yet. I still got work to do. And tomorrow will be its first official day of flip to flower, so that'll be exciting. Yeah, we got some upgrades coming next week. So kind of excited about that.
Well, let's tech talk. What are you getting?
I gotta get 6-inch, so I gotta decide that or more soil stuff. But I don't really need the soil stuff right now, so it's probably gonna be the 6-inch.
Okay.
But so I gotta holler at some of the guys that have been talking to us about supplies and stuff like that. So yeah, I gotta get some other stuff too, but that's just the first thing that's coming to my mind right now. I'm super stoned. So yeah, I'm excited. I got to finish top dressing everything too. I got to top dress the rest of the ones in veg that are going to flower tomorrow. And yeah, so far they've been doing great. All I've done is water and recharge, and they're doing phenomenal. So I'm happy with Fluffikin's coaching. He helped me through it. I remember I was like at Home Depot in the middle of the city. I was like, yo, like, I hope you're not busy right now. And he was like, yeah, just get this. So I was like, all right. And then like I had to carry that shit everywhere because I live in the fucking city. And I was like, yeah. But got it back to the apartment, you know. That's cool. He got to see all my roommates yesterday. My worms and shit. That was cool. You got to see my flowers. He told me to stop stressing all the fucking time. It was really fucking cool, man. He gave me some really good flour. Really great terps on it. I love that he's just like, yeah, dude, it's just some bag seed. It's just, you know, show your plants some love. Give them what they want. Let them decide what they want to do with it. And, you know, enjoy the process. Shout out to him. That was dope. Oh, shit.
Cheers.
Oh, man.
We got
What's up?
Sequence, how are you, man?
He's on mute.
Yeah, I get all my windows in order. Sorry. What's up, guys? I'm good. I'm good. Just watching your show, enjoying the content. I remember streaming to 17 people to 13 people. Having the passion for it that you guys have, you know, will go a long way. Just enjoying watching, man.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it when we can get support from shows, more established shows like yours. We really appreciate the fact that you guys will even give us the time of day, let alone step on and have these conversations with us. It's cool, and it makes us smile and feel a little bit bigger in our britches, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, we're just regular guys. We just sat in front of a camera a couple hundred shows more than you have. That's all. You know, we like to joke that we're half famous because we're influencers on the internet. You know.
Yeah, I hear that, absolutely. It's our running joke is Rick has he's the superstar now on our crew. He's a quick wit, always great with his jokes.
He's always asking lots of good questions, which is important to have on a show.
Yeah.
On my panel, I don't have that. It's tragic. So you guys are gonna go a long way with skills like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I tell you, I really enjoy your show and learn a lot from it. Absolutely. You've all
Cool.
got your own styles, and it's cool to see the variant. to those of us that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your grow and your growing style and that kind of thing? What type of media you use? And
so indoors, I grow with LED, like you guys were talking about earlier. Like you like to keep up with the trends and stuff. I like to do the same. I do a lot of research, and I grow with LED lights. I grow drain to waste cocoa. So I have an all automated from a res. I use Netafim sprayers to water 3-gallon pots and flower. So I run 3-gallon cocoa, 70-30, so 30% perlite. And then I run Jax 321, and that's it. No real big secrets. This plant right behind my head was grown with Jax, salts, and the same system. So I'm happy to answer any questions, of course.
you know what's scary is you just about described my setup to a T. I said earlier that I wanted to get some type of a drip system, and I'm sorry, the system you use is what?
The brand is called Netafim. It's all one word, Netafim. Very, very good established commercial brand. Affordable at scale. My room was designed to be as easy as possible for one person, so that when I just bought a house. So when I buy more property or when I can scale my grow bigger, I can easily manage it with one person. So it's all automated and all of that sort of thing. It's made to be commercial style. So all of the things that are commercially viable is what I tried to mimic. So that's why I ended up with a lot of those sort of things.
Do you use fabric pots?
I don't. I use plastic for the final pots. I use fabric some in veg. One of our show sponsors is a fabric pot maker, so we use a lot of that stuff.
So do you size up? Do you go like when you're in veg, you're in a 3-gallon or smaller?
Smaller. So I clone, and then I go into like solo cups, and I'll take clear solo cups inside of colored cups, and then check my roots. And then once my roots get pretty heavy in the solo cups, I'll transplant those to 1-gallon, either fabric pots, or I like to use the white plastic fucking bags that you would use like in a greenhouse or big commercial setting. I have a huge amount of those, so I use those, and then when I'm done with them, I just tear them and throw them away. So it helps get rid of instead of having like a big huge stack of pots around, I just keep those around.
Yeah. Have you had issues with fungus gnat?
Never. With the cocoa, I water up to 5, 6, 7 times a day, and I never have fungus gnats at all.
Yeah, fungus gnats are attracted to the moisture, and
right.
In my research, looking at different watering systems, I came across one. I can't remember the name of it, but it actually like covered, like 2 pieces covered the whole pot. I tell you who uses the system is Green Jeans Garden. If you're familiar.
Yep. He's one of probably the most famous grower that uses Jax, which is the new Jax 321 that I use.
Yep.
I used to use something called the Matrix system by Floraflex, which is like a green saucer that sits on top of your cocoa that actually wicks from the top to the bottom. It has a felt pad that sits underneath of that, and it was interesting, but your plants had to be perfectly level, so it was a pain in the ass. So I got rid of and went to sprayers. Fluffkins asked why I tried to replicate a commercial style. That is because I want to grow. In Michigan, we can grow up to 72 plants with our caregiver level license. So I can easily grow 72 plants legally, but growing 72 plants certain ways would be very difficult. So I'm mimicking a style that I can easily do with one person.
That's been one of my problems with as a medical grower when I got my license and going from 4 plants to a lot more than that is being able to try and give them all the attention that I was able to give my 4 plants. And to be honest, I've struggled. So I have now made the decision that I'm going back to being a tent grower. Just I'll have like a veg, a bloom, and a breeding tent, just dumb everything down. It's not like I need to be growing for everybody in the neighborhood. I'm growing for myself and maybe whoever might stop by for a visit, right? Let's light one up.
You want to automate as much as you can and make it as easy as you can for yourself so you can spend as much time as possible with the plants.
Yeah.
Like further past the indoor stuff, last year I did a consult grow with someone. Their first ever grow, we did a 30 by 40 greenhouse, and we had 36 plants and 45-gallon soil or water only soil pots, and those were all about 6 foot tall, harvested between 2 and 6 pounds for each plant. It was a pretty good summer thing. So I do the organic and the soil and the salts. I like to diversify my knowledge, but I'm not a soil, like a super soil expert and stuff. The guys on my show, they talk about soil like all the time, and I don't have I haven't read enough books to to grasp any of what they know on any of those subjects.
I use the drain to waste system as well. And to those of you or us that may not know it, can you tell us about the drain to waste system sequence and like the principle behind it?
Yeah, so like at least what I do, all of my plants sit on top of trays that all drain to a common drain, and then that wastewater is wastewater. It's not reused, but I can measure the amount of wastewater I have and adjust my watering frequency and my watering amount. Typically in flower for me, I know this wasn't your question, but I will increase the watering frequency as I need to. So I'll start flower by watering once a day, right? Like you would normally hand water a plant. And then you'll realize that watering once a day isn't enough water or whatever. So then you water twice a day. And then you realize that that's not enough water. So then you water 3 times a day, et cetera, et cetera. What's up, Spartan? I see you in the chat.
These containers that you use, they have a lot of holes in the bottom.
No, they're just normal pots. I just use normal pots inside of a like a Botanicare, like a flood drain tray.
It would have like 4 standard holes, like a plastic. Yeah. And what percentage would you run? Like, what percentage would you have as waste?
Not very much. Once you get it like figured out, you can run like 10% or less waste, and then as soon as you start not getting any or getting less, you can adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I'm not big on wasting a lot of water because it's nutrients is money. Nutrients and wastewater, either in the environment or in the sewer, is bad environmentally. Lots of things to be conscious of as far as all that stuff goes.
Do you use microbes?
I don't. Everyone tells me I'm wrong, but I have used them before and I didn't see lots of benefits. I do plan to do some more microbe testing and silica testing when I get into the new house. I got some stuff that I want to try out.
So you follow the directions from the label for the Jack's nutrient?
Sort of. I don't know that Jack's itself has like 3-2-1 directions. You can find Green Jeans has his own, but that's very simple. For 1 gallon, you got 3 grams of A, 2 grams of B, 1 gram of Epsom salt, and that's the 3-2-1. But yeah, I don't think that Jack's itself has that recipe. They actually sell many, many, many different sorts of bags of nutrients. It's a commercial ag company. It's not actually a cannabis nutrient brand or anything like that. So they don't they don't advertise and market to us. So that's why it's so affordable and so nice for us as growers.
Yeah, I don't know if it's available in Canada to check it out.
I'm not positive. I know that we can get it on Amazon here. I don't know what all you can get that we can get that's like on that sort of a big platform, but they also sell stuff directly.
Okay.
Now, have you used soils before and you just not?
Oh yeah.
You like the comfortability of the cocoa, or just the automation that use, or ease with automation it uses, or what?
So soil, I didn't like both the speed and it, like I got a lot more pests in soil, and that is either me not being as good of a grower in soil, which is very possible, or soil just harboring more of that sort of stuff, which is possible too. But either way, I could solve that problem by switching that method. So that's part of why I did that. And I can also maintain like plant health a lot easier in cocoa. So like if I see a nutrient deficiency or a problem or anything, I can flush my media out and replace it with whatever I desire immediately. So that's really nice.
I found the same benefits. I grow in cocoa as well, and I love the fact that I control everything that's in there.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like because I'm a control freak or what, but like if I see a leaf that's not green, I can make it green, Yep. Or I can remove it and make sure the next one doesn't turn yellow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice piece.
Dab time. I know you called out one earlier, Caribou.
Wow.
Yeah, we could do another one again here real quick because it's
Dab time.
Such a wonderful thing, isn't it?
I just gotta order a banger realistically.
I just have to use a torch for a minute, so you gotta ramble on amongst yourselves while I do that.
I could probably come.
I think we should.
I think we're all gonna do this.
We all deserve a dab, okay?
It's quiet time.
I'll talk and yap about something stupid for a little bit, I guess. So I guess I'll talk about what my next project is going to be coming up here. So I mentioned earlier I got the cloner full with all 5 of those are eyes phenotypes, some purple punch, and the Charlotte's Web. The next round I'm going to start from seed. We're going to go with those golden goats that I won't shut up about because I got to get on with those. And in keeping with the CBD fashion, I'm going to go with those nuclear cherries that Don Miller sent up my way. Really excited to see what those can do. I've been to dispensaries a few times since I've been working in the bigger cities, and I've been trying the CBD weed at every one of them. And it doesn't do for me what the Charlotte's Web that I'm growing seems to do for me. There might be a little bit of placebo effect in there involved. Maybe, I don't know, but I just know it makes me feel better. And typically dispensary weed doesn't get me overly high. So we'll just kind of go in that direction with laying the blame.
What I got left.
Is that the Charlotte right there still?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. I can't wait to see actually what you end up doing with that Charlotte's Web, because that looks great sequence.
Wow, I can never get my camera to focus on my show. So look at that. Enjoy that.
Fantastic sequence. What is that?
That's BHO resin made from trim from that outdoor garden I was talking, or greenhouse garden I was talking about.
That shit looks really tasty.
How weird that my camera actually worked for you guys.
Holy.
So Michigan borders on Canada, correct? No?
Yes, it does. I actually have a long-standing history with Canadians in my lifetime, because we have a NASCAR racetrack in my hometown here in Michigan. I was born in Jackson, and very close to Jackson, there's the Michigan International Speedway. And we used to camp next to Canadians every year, and they were super nice people. So I always have good memories with Canadians. So it's kind of a short story.
Cool. I'm becoming a believer that Canada it's just about impossible to grow outdoors. Yeah, it is pretty. Outdoors pot, maybe autoflower, but our growing season is just too short. You mentioned that you had a greenhouse this year. Did you use light deprivation or anything like that?
No, but we did add heat to extend the growing season. So even though the light hours were less, which isn't a problem for flower, but it's a problem for flower development. We can talk about that. I can see why growing outdoors in Canada would be a major pain in the ass. Growing outdoors in Michigan is a pretty major pain in the ass. Growing in a greenhouse helped a lot of those problems, but it doesn't eliminate all of them by any means. We had to add a very expensive heater to extend that growing season long enough to be able to grow most strains. But there are strains that are famous for being very short flower time that might work in Canada if they survive the environment. Like AK-47 is known for being a really short flower time.
I've heard the dude on the Dude Grows show. I guess this year he had a little thing going in Maple Ridge, BC, which is all part of the province here. And he developed mold, and he's so fed up, man. He's never growing outdoors again.
I know a lot of people that run into PM or bud rot or caterpillars or any of that sort of thing all the time. So it's definitely a problem that you got to mitigate, or just or quit.
Never quit. Never gonna quit. No, but autoflowers are going to be like so many other, maybe not LEDs. Well, maybe LEDs. They're going to revolutionize the industry. I predict in the next.
That's what I keep hearing.
What about a LED assisted greenhouse? Something like that.
Well, it would work.
Yeah. I mean, I guess just for personal, just for around the place, but I could see how that turned out of hand pretty quickly now that I think about it.
Well, it just puts like a big beacon on your greenhouse that says like, come cut a hole in this thing and see what's inside of here.
Yeah, right. That's how it is with these burples in the city. I mean, I look out the window and I'm just like, holy shit. All right. I need to be friends with you, and you.
When I first started growing, I would drive around and or when I'm driving around, even still make a game out of like looking for grows. Both indoor and outdoor, like they have very obvious tells. And like, you can just tell.
Yeah, that color hue, it's not a black light color or anything like that. It's a special color.
6-inch dryer vents coming out of like random walls and windows like 8 foot off the ground and shit. And then like the dryers over there still, and, like all sorts of stuff. Mini
windows
splits.
are blocked off. You're like, Yeah,
I've got a friend where all of the windows on the front of their garage are painted black. I was like, huh? You don't think anybody wonders what's going on in here, huh?
I think it's funny when you drive down certain streets and you could see like the cracks in and around like the garage where there's light coming out, and you can kind of tell by the shade and color of certain lights that there's something going on there. It's like up your security game, people, because anybody that knows can spot that out.
You guys still run into the melted snow on the roof thing up there? Like grows that, yeah.
Yeah.
well, we kind of had that beforehand. It just meant the house was poor. It didn't have any insulation, and the ceiling. You know, if you were in the poorer part of town, if you're in the nicer part of town, then you could probably be a little more curious.
Oh, so you could get away with growing, but only in the hood.
Yeah,
Perfect.
But it
It's
depended on
unusual.
how big you want it to be, because the big thing was the electric bill. If you had a high electric bill, that's usually what got you, pegged. Now it's nothing. Having a high electric bill isn't anything.
Yeah, we were some of our electric bills that we were getting before I had my shed upgraded there, because had to run extension cords for a while there. It was just like we were getting like $1,400 a month electric bills there for.
Oh.
And then as soon as we upgraded our power box and ran a proper cable out there, it was just like they were cutting just about half. It was like, wow, thank God for that. It's kind of terrifying when you see that, but it's the whole time. This was just the extension cord, just a temporary thing.
Do you know offhand what you pay for like kilowatt hours in Canada?
Oh, I don't. I've never.
I'm going to guess on here. Yeah, I'm going to guess about a dime, about 10 cents, maybe 8 cents, something in there. No,
Is that daytime or nighttime?
We don't do it that way. What we have is you pay a certain rate to a certain kilowatt, and then you pay more if you go over that amount. And then 8 cents Canadian would be 6 American.
I think that's pretty comparable power rate to what we have. My power bill for reference has never been over like $200 or $300. So like 1,500 to me sounds crazy, or even half of that number.
I'm about to start running completely new setup. I'm going to be living in a different place here before too long. So I'm going to grow tents, and I'm going to be running cannons in those tents, and learning to play with the LED games, because I keep hearing everybody talk about LEDs, and so it was just time to start fresh and pull the trigger on some cannons. So I'm excited with those. Those should be here later this week, probably next week will be my guess. And
you got the black cell cannons?
Yeah, you betcha.
Okay.
Yeah, really looking forward to those. I was just talking with Keith on the phone Saturday or Sunday.
My producer Abolish runs those. He really likes them, I think.
What do you run, Sequence?
I run HLG lights. Yeah. I have 650R and I have HLG 600R.
Oh yeah.
That 650R is so bright.
Yeah. How far do you have to have that above the canopy?
A long way. Well, yeah. I had plants willingly grow into it, not into the light, but closer than they should have probably, right? They didn't bleach or anything, so I don't know, but the light is very, 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 very intense. They say like 3 feet away.
I heard it's pretty nice.
You're muted.
I think I'm the only HPS grower in here, huh?
I gave away my last HPS light over 2 years ago.
See, I love my HPS. I got no beef with it.
My last grow was done with HPS, so, and I've yet to fire up an LED, so you could still lump me in there with you. And I'm still going to keep a couple HPS in CHM ballasts around just in case, because I have a hard time just selling it all off or giving it away, because it's just like you never know. I feel like there might be an occasion where it'll come in handy. Or
I'm the opposite. Unless I've got space, in which case I'll hang up the light and use it. I'll give that shit away or sell it or whatever, get it out of my way immediately. So like I don't have any extra stuff right now. And now I'm moving to a new house. I got a 4-car garage and a full basement. And I don't have any extra stuff because I sold it or gave it away or whatever. So like, you win some, you lose some.
No, I'm a hoarder. When I'm even if I'm not using it, I just gotta have it.
Can't get rid of it yet.
Can't. I mean, sometimes I'll give it away. Don't get me wrong. You know, if somebody's starting out and they're a friend of mine, I'll be like, "Here, borrow this," because it's just taking up room in my closet. But realistically, I don't know. It's my thing. I just like collecting grow equipment.
So ironically, we have the same light, the HLG 650R.
Crazy light, right?
I think they recommend between 40 and 48 inches to the canopy. But
yeah, I think so.
I thought I saw a YouTube video of an unboxing of one, and they talked about an add-on, and I think like a UV bar. Have you heard about anything like that?
I did, I believe, and then I think that, I mean, Spartan would know more than me, but I think they've got an app or something that's getting ready to, some sort of attachment that's getting ready to come out for them too. I'm not in the know on that, actually. I should be probably, but I'm not.
Do you use CO2 sequence?
I don't, but the new place, so when I start building out the garage, I'm going to build it as a sealed space with CO2. That's the plan. At this current space, I did not use CO2. Well, I supplemented with like mushroom bags, but I didn't take CO2 like, real serious.
Yeah.
I plan to at the new space.
Yeah, no, it's pretty hard to if you don't have a sealed room.
Yeah. I'm at first when I move to the new house, I'm gonna build a space kind of like a, quickly put together veg and flower sort of deal, and then I'm gonna build out the room in the garage for real.
When are you moving?
About 2 weeks. Already signed and waiting.
Yeah, I'm busy here. I'd give you a hand.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That's me every time somebody asks if I can help.
Busy.
It's all.
I've got one buddy who keeps insisting on helping, and I'm like, dude, listen, are you sure you want to help so bad? Because if you needed my help moving, I would say, no, go fuck yourself. And he goes, yeah, dude, I'm happy to help you. And I said, okay.
One good thing about constantly working out of town is I am often out of town working when people want me to help them move. So it's kind of one of those, don't mind being out of town working sometimes, I'll help you if I'm there, but I'd rather not moving.
Like, fortunately right now I don't have a truck, so I get asked a lot less, But once I have a truck, that goes way up.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
If you're possible.
So do you have upcoming projects, like when you do fire up your garden again? Is there anything in particular you want to start running in there?
GMO, probably very high on the list. I'm growing a mother right now, and that's probably that is my biggest plant. I have 2 Mac 1 plants.
Wow.
I have a bunch of really good genetics. I have 20 something clones. So I have like 2 clones of all of my strains. I have Ethos's Crescendo. There's Citral Glue. I've got Death Star's cut. I've got GMO.
I did a GMO. It was amazing.
Kush mints, all sorts of other cool stuff. I have my own cross that I made that I have to flower still, which was a cross of Crescendo and Deep Chunk F12 and Royal White Cherry. So I'm pretty excited. It's got really big leaves on it.
That sounds very interesting. I'd like to see how that one turns out.
Yeah, and now that I have all this new space, I'm gonna make a breeding chamber and start making little breeding projects and stuff. So I'll have a bunch of weird stuff. I have a lot of crazy cool crosses, or strains, new hype stuff and whatnot. So crossing that stuff with, I don't know. I had Trop Cookies male, but I got rid of it for space for moving. But I'm probably gonna add. I mean, I have so many regular seeds, and select a male and start crossing that with stuff. My friend and I have some Chem D and Chem 91 seeds that are regulars. So maybe we'll select some males out of that. Because I love the Chem lineage. That's what GMO has, Chem lineage. GG4 has Chem lineage. Chem is in lots of things.
I'm looking forward to running that Ethos glue. That was one I'm kind of looking forward to. But you just knocked off a lot of those pretty sought after strains.
The Citro glue is amazing. So if you ever, and it's not hard to find, it's not like a rare Ethos strain or anything, but it resists PM. Like we had it in the greenhouse. Some strains got PM that did not get it. It yields really well, but it's it's a GG4 cross, so it's one of those millennial plants. It can't support itself. It just fucking falls over, and so you got to stake it up or whatever, or trellis it.
Yeah, the Chem D line, that was kind of my first one that really grabbed my attention as a new grower, and go, hey, just the smells that were coming off that were unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And I searched for some regular seeds for that and couldn't. So then I just decided, well, if I were to take another, because I went and got Greg Green's Breeder's Bible book, and I read up on that, thinking if I were to cross some of that, I should be able to get something that kind of is really close to that Chem Dog smell, taste, etc., etc. And then from there, once I started popping those first seeds out of those Chem Dog buds, it was just like, okay, the addiction's on, and we want to start making the crosses and seeing what we can come up with.
Man, it's cool popping seeds that you made and watching the plant grow and be like, okay, I made this. It's like, I mean, I have kids, so it's like having kids. You're like, oh shit, look at that thing. And you don't know what it's going to be. Just like you don't know what your kids are going to be. So you pinch them on the head and
yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Is there's got to be if you produce that seed and you watch that thing pop, there's got to be a personal
there
feeling.
is a little bit. I mean, yeah, and like the ones that don't work out, they don't work out. But I know some people have a harder time than others to get rid of strains and stuff like that, like a more emotional attachment to plants.
I kind of used to be like that, but now I'm kind of learning that because I've generally had about 20 plus strains on the go at any given time once I got my license. And it's just because it's to just see what's out there and try as much as I can, right? And you got to start getting rid of them. Then it's okay, you get rid of the first kind of ones that don't make the first cut. And then, but you like all these ones that you kept, but it's okay, this one doesn't do this for me, this one doesn't do that, and you got to come up with reasons to just, and then keep only the best of the best. It's I'm looking forward to popping some meatheads, some of the meathead crosses that I made in the near future, because I lost my meathead cut, and so I'm hoping I can come really close to that. And I think if I could get a male, that would be the kicker for me right there.
I like to preach that you want to constantly be raising the bar of the strains that you have, like in your in your corral, so to speak. You want to constantly be kicking the worst ones and replacing them with better ones.
I got some emotional attachment to a couple of strains, though. I've kept a couple around for a while. But I mean, I'm always doing new ones, but there's definitely two that I've kept for.
Well, because they're old doesn't mean that they're bad, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're just ones I can't give up for some reason, you know?
So let's talk about your the Michigan Bros show a little bit. What got you into the idea of wanting to start up podcasting?
My friend and I were on a show called the Cheap Home Grow Podcast. It still exists. They still do shows every Sunday right before our show.
Yeah, I follow it.
And at that time, I was consuming a lot of podcasts, and I was constantly running out of stuff to listen to every day. And I had also realized that we lived in a legal state, and there was no podcasts for Michigan. So I contacted my buddy, and I was like, "Hey, would you be interested in maybe doing a show, like a weekly podcast for Michigan?" He said, "Sure." So we started getting guests together and stuff, and then we had no idea like that this was going to happen, or we would have picked a better name, you know, something easier to say, something easier to put in websites. But it's really fun. I mean, the commitment of finding guests and recording and editing podcasts and putting them on the thing every week was much harder than we thought, but we did it. We didn't miss one, I don't think. And obviously, like, major life events happen over the course of a couple of years that we've been doing a show. So, like, I think it's something to be proud of that we didn't miss any, which was cool. And but now we do mostly the live shows, which is really cool too. We have a big connection to our chat fans and our viewer base. So we get to answer tons of questions and bullshit and try to be entertaining. And being entertaining is sometimes harder than others. But we got a lot of funny people, you know, and we don't take ourselves too serious. So, you know, kind of like you guys, you got to figure it out, right? And mixing the being entertaining with the being educational, I think, is important.
Yeah, that's the big part of it. I think I look back on all the teachers that I had throughout my schooling years, and it's like my grade 3 teacher sticks out the most because he made learning fun.
Yeah, you paid attention.
Yeah, you go a long ways till like grade 10 was the next one, and you know what? He made learning fun. It's the same thing. I like. There's a lot of people that they obsess over this plant and fixated just like a lot of us do, but they don't know where to go for information and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, we try and give a little bit of the knowledge when we can, but we also like to tell jokes and have fun. And like, who doesn't want to be around laughter? It's great.
Well, I've got very good friends that they can like literally recite to you pages and white papers and books, but it's dry as hell, you know? And you're like, come on, man, please. And then you've got the same friends that can't recite that stuff, but have all of the personality, you know? And it's hard to have like a good mixture of the two. But I like to think that we have a lot of people on our panel that do have a blend of that, you know, personality and the knowledge. And I think that that's key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one of from watching shows like yours, Embracing Organics is another great example of a panel style show. It kind of, when I was started this podcast, it was just me by myself talking in front of a camera and then editing videos. It's like, you know, I'd spend all week trying to think about what's going on in my garden and talk about that. But it's like, it's so much better when you can like actually bounce stuff off of each other and just like have that organic conversation. Just maybe slip a one-liner or two in there while you're at it.
In the chat, believe it or not, I mean, the longer you do this show, you're gonna pick up like a new viewer every show. And after half of a year, you're gonna be streaming to like 40 people. And then, you know, after a year, you're gonna be streaming to like 70 people. And you'll be like, oh damn, now we're answering questions from chat. They're driving the show. You start caring about what's happening with like so-and-so's life. And it's a very, very much a community. And like we have a community of people that very much matter to us. And you guys will too. Especially since you guys can mail cannabis to each other in Canada. We can't do that here.
Yeah, shout out to the Hurt and Albertan. And he's one of those guys you're talking about, like you get a bit of a community in chat. He's one of those guys that he's here every show. Same with Mr. Rods, he's there every show. We got Lobster, he's here pretty much every show. And I could go on.
Right. Remember the people that are there when you're streaming to like 7 people. Because we have those people that are still there for us. And you'll have some of those people that are still there when you have a bunch of viewers. And it's really cool.
Sequence, can you please give us a cheap plug for when you're running your live shows?
Oh man, I'm bad at this. I never do this on our show. Sundays we're live at 9 Eastern for 2 hours. So we're live from 9 to 11. And then Monday nights we're live from 11 p.m. until 1. Yeah. And then every other Saturday now we're doing the Wake and Bake show Saturday at 9 a.m. So we're not doing it this weekend, but we will be doing it next weekend. So then we'll be doing some more stuff. We do events, we do shorts, we do like the Frugal Force shows, we do other pre-recorded shows, but that's the live content. We try to release something every single day.
And then you do you go to your grow and do a personal one, and then go to Skill Bros and
yeah, we have like shorts of like walkthroughs through different people's gardens. Mine will be up shortly. Right now I don't have a flower room. It's all shut down because I'm getting ready to move. But so I just have a veg garden, so nothing interesting happens at my house.
I hated that kind of starting over about a year ago. We had to where just the what we were doing wasn't working out. So it's like, hey, start again. And that's when we went and did the whole living soil organics, and basically watching everything slowly creep its way up as time ticks on. And then you can throw it into bloom. And it actually gets expensive when you're paying for your power and buying weed at the same time. It's like, yikes. Nothing, huh?
Well, I appreciate Sequence dropping by. I think that's pretty cool. And
absolutely.
I've been enjoying everything he's been talking about. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I just been soaking it up, you know.
Stuff like that. I always enjoy learning about people that have been in it for a little while and produce some pretty looks like quality stuff from what it looks like, you know. I'm excited for what movement that your state's been doing, you know, that you're able to grow up to 72 plants for people. That's phenomenal, you know, because we're in a country where unfortunately there's still some states where people are going to jail for it and shit, you know. So
oh yeah, or states that are legal and they can't grow. So we
I mean, we got
really lucky.
Yeah,
we're really lucky.
Sure. And yeah, the only thing that isn't like, okay, so like I wanted to go to Michigan. I can't go out that way because they're not very felon friendly. when it comes to local laws right now. But like New Hampshire and stuff like that, I don't know about New Hampshire, but Maine, they're pretty felon friendly. So I like how everything's evolving, and how they're bringing the people that have been affected in the criminal justice system into play in some of these states, because they've made it pretty restrictive to some people that are just trying to,
for sure,
medicate themselves.
Here in Michigan, they're actually, rescinding the sentences of certain cannabis, like nonviolent cannabis offenses. They're taking them off their records, letting them out of prison, that sort of deal. That's actually happening right now. That's part of what the laws we passed. So
yeah, Illinois had they did an automatic expungement for a certain amount, under a certain amount, if it was
expungement. That might be the word I was trying to find in my high brain.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised it came to mind, but yeah, they did that. That was really cool. They're letting some people out, and it's just it's one of those gray areas, because it's like, oh well, maybe that person wouldn't have had 12 pounds on them if they were able to go legally buy cannabis somewhere. Maybe they only wanted to break the law once for a little while, or just whatever the theory.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
they
probably would have, but who knows?
Whatever,
No, they would have grew at their house, and they wouldn't have to go anywhere.
There is a lot of that. So, like, we have a limit in Michigan where you can have a certain amount of cannabis at home, like 10 ounces or something. But if you're a caregiver, you can have any amount at home that you grew there. So, essentially eliminating that law if you're a caregiver. So that's sort of interesting.
That's nice.
Same thing applies when you're transporting it.
We have a really weird transport laws here, and I hate talking about them because then somebody will try to quote me on it, and not a lawyer or anything, but I think you can only transport 2.5 ounces of flour or like 14 grams of concentrate.
Same here.
Wow. That's saucy. That was nice.
Yeah, that's similar in Canada. They have a limit to what you can. So even if you're a caregiver for another person and it's at another location, you can only legally bring them so much at a time. In each
yeah, you got to take like 6 cars.
Yeah, a parade.
Well, each individual that has a card can have that much, so you just gotta pack a minivan with a couple of your friends, transport the pound.
Hey, whatever works. We all have to operate in like legal gray areas and work in every loophole possible.
I just like the blind eye.
That's not even a cannabis only thing. Like, if you move up in the business world, you'll realize that like every business is doing it every way possible.
Absolutely.
My phone just started talking to me out of nowhere and scared the hell out of me. It was just like female Siri voice, just like I was right beside me. I wasn't expecting that.
I'll tell you what, boys, I gotta get up for it in the morning. I really appreciate y'all coming by, Sequence. That was really dope. Being able to speak with you and be able to hear some of the knowledge from you.
I like watching. I'm not sure that I know any more than any of you guys, but I like watching.
Oh, I know a lot more than me right now. I'm just getting into the game myself, and I'm loving every minute of it. And watching guys like you, you know what I mean? I enjoy your show a lot. So
thanks, man.
Appreciate y'all putting the content out there, taking the time and do what you do.
Good to see you, DP.
Later, DP.
Have a great night, brother.
Uh-oh. Wow. Go to the big screen.
Yeah. It screws me up when it does that.
Sequence, how long you been growing?
Like cumulatively, like experience-wise, about 5-6 years. But I had like a gap, so if you would go to like time years, like 7 years. So I'd say like 5-6 years. I took a couple of years off and then came back with a vengeance. Built a really nice room and started growing dank. Started the podcast. Yeah, the rest was history.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
My mentor taught me like lots of bro science, old school stuff, and things that you couldn't find in a book anywhere, you know. But I figured it out.
I did a lot of reading in the beginning, lots and lots and lots.
The learning thing never stopped. So that's what never. I thought was interesting about the cannabis thing, much like the photography thing, like taking the picture. It's like an endless level of continuous improvement. And something I really like about cannabis is like you can read about the bacteria for weeks and not know everything there is to know about what the hell is going on in the soil microbiome and all of that stuff. So it's like super fascinating that there's experts in every little thing.
Right.
I like all the different grow styles there are out there and just like marveling over them because they're all very cool. They just, like, it's like, wow, like, we all have our own certain styles, but when you think about like hydroponics, you look at the root porn you get with that, or you go to something like aquaponics where you're just like mind-blowing kind of stuff, or just dirt. You get people that are basically have good enough just outdoor soil in their backyard or wherever they can throw seed in the ground and still nothing but tap water come off with amazing dank. Wow.
We like to preach that you can do it every way and it's be viable. So like whatever style works for your life and whatever you want to do is the one that's going to work for you. And we don't judge anybody if they're organic or salt or hydro or whatever, anything that anybody decided to do. So it's been cool. We've been able to interview lots of cool guests. Like we've had Potent Ponics on our show and talked about aquaponics, and we've also talked about soil. We've also talked about salts, and so we don't have any strong bias against or for anything. And I think that's good to be inclusive of, all the people that want to grow the plants, because it's a hobby that's, not for everyone. So we got to teach everybody how to do it better. The better the dank is, the better it is for everybody.
And it just seems to be it's the type of community where everybody just wants to give. They just want to share their knowledge freely with some people charge, some people, but it's that type of a society or group that we belong to.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you'll always find like a few bad apples, but they weed themselves out really quick,
Yeah, I wish I had found communities like Cannabis in particular, or the Instagram community. Once you actually kind of get in there, work your way in there a bit. When I first started growing, because it's kind of like Prophet mentioned earlier, just a lot of reading at first. It would have been nice to shorten that learning curve because I had nobody to talk to.
Right.
Ideas off about it. At first, it was just like, okay, we got these seeds and I like smoking pot, and it just seems more economically feasible to grow it yourself. And
that's why we had to start a show. I was growing again and I was consuming content, and I was like, okay, there's an hour's worth of stuff to watch or listen to or whatever. It was like, there could be a lot more than that. And after we started our show, I learned about some shows that did exist that I didn't know about. So there was that, but I think that we definitely had our place, and we've definitely filled our niche in the scene, so to speak, on YouTube.
I think you guys were the second cannabis podcast that I discovered. It was the Growing with Fishes podcast was the first one, just because I'd seen some of the stuff they were posting.
That's pretty cool.
So
how did you come across us?
Just some kind of must have been a Facebook link, kind of when it'll show you something similar. And then it was just like, oh, there's another podcast about this.
On
Right?
Facebook, huh?
Yeah, it's well, that's where I saw what Steve and Marty were
Interesting.
posting on Facebook, their pictures, and then come across. So I found their podcast, and then
Potent Ponics sponsored us for about a month. I wonder if they shared a video of ours or something on their Facebook, and you found us that way.
well, no, I meant to say I found you guys on YouTube, but I discovered Potent Ponics.
Oh,
Was when I was getting at. Sorry. Should have clarified that a bit better. But then, like, once I found you guys, it was just like, okay, there's more of these. And then there was like the Dude Grows. So it's just like, and then it was like a snowball going.
Dude Grows.
It's actually a lot of really good content creators.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know any of them. I would like to have some of these conversations. So that's how kind of we started here.
it's all about who you know. It's all about who you blow, you know?
Yeah. I haven't had to blow anybody yet.
That's a win. That's a win in my
Knock on
book.
wood. Yeah. It's gotten me through a couple of tough times, you know.
Yeah, I haven't had to do it in a minute.
I had a blow job last week. It was pretty good, but it tasted awful.
Yeah.
Tough break.
You didn't have to chew it first, right?
All right, guys. I was I think yeah, it's about time I think to start thinking about wrapping it up. I've got a few things I'd like to take care of tonight. But Sequence, this was so awesome, man. Like, thank you. I
Welcome,
look
dude. I'll come back.
I look up
Cool.
to you, and your show, and so to be able to have conversations with you, and you're like here with us. This is awesome. This is
It's
so
cool. Really cool.
I love
Yeah,
it.
thanks for dropping by, man. Really
Yeah, man.
appreciate
Thank you.
I know.
No problem at all.
But,
I was just sitting here watching anyway.
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Hey, 'cause, well, Tuesday we generally do have guests lined up for the show, but I got a message yesterday. Buddy had to cancel as life happens. You mentioned life events earlier, right? You know, no fault. We'll get him on a later date. We've already been talking about that, so it's like perfect. As soon as I saw you put the offer in the chat, I was just like, oh yeah, let's see if we can get this guy on here. So it's like I said.
Yeah, we tell all the panelists and all the guests that real life takes priority over the show stuff any day. So definitely glad I could step in and maybe be a little bit entertaining. Thanks for having me.
Right
Really
on.
high.
Later, man. You did great.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, I guess time to shut her down. Everybody in chat, thank you. We love you for your support. You guys are awesome. So we'll see you Friday night for the Friday night session. Have a great night.
Later, guys.
Have a good night.
Later.